Okay guys, so it's James Goddard with another lesson from the Quest Golf Academy. And today I had Tom in. Tom's a new student. He had taken some tuition in the past, but mainly working on the basics, so the grip, setup and alignment, and didn't really touch a great deal on the golf swing. So we got to work. And on the right hand side, this is one of Tom's first swings and shots of the day. So setup, we did make a little change to that, which I'm going to discuss a little bit more in a minute. If I just play his swing through, you see as Tom gets off his backswing, you see the lead arm is very low relative to his shoulder plane, and more importantly, there isn't a great deal of width, or hardly any, between his hands and his head. And you can see that a little bit clearer from the image on the left hand side. So I'll take him on again to his backswing. Now you can see now, because the left arm's collapsed a little bit, there isn't any room. The club's coming a little bit behind him. Now he's going to have to play catch up with his hands and arms in the downswing to try and regain some of that width. And you can almost see that as he starts down. So as he starts down now, he's having to extend the club out to try and sink the upper body and the hands and arms again. So extends that out, so now he's straightening his left arm, but look what that's doing to the club. He's lost all his angle here already, so we're losing potentially a lot of distance and power. So let me just bring back this one here onto the right hand side. Another thing that Tom did, because he was having to resequence his downswing, you can just see from this view what that actually did to the club. So you can see how the hands and arms and everything kicked out. Hands and arms worked out. Shaft gets really steep, and he was actually suffering with quite a few of the dreaded shanks here. And you can see that quite clear. So as I'm coming down now, you can see how the hosel is probably the closest part of the club face that's going to be presented to the ball. So we set to work, and firstly I just tidied up Tom's setup a little bit, which you can see here on the left. So he's in a much more athletic position. All I asked him to do was just take a little bit of knee flex out and just feel as though he was pulling the shoulders and pinching them back together. So in a much better position. You see how the hands and arms are now hanging a lot more freely from the shoulders. From there, all I wanted Tom to feel was as though as he got to the top of his backswing, he felt as though his left arm, or more importantly his hands, were more extended out and away from his head. And now, if I take you through to the top of his backswing, you'll see that we get into a much better position at the top relative, or should I say compared to this. Much better position at the top. Now there's plenty of width there for the hands and arms, so you fall down this way and he can swing through. We know that Tom had an issue from the top of the backswing, because he had no width, for his hands and arms to work out and across the ball. Now look at this one here on the left. So as he starts down, the hands are now got loads of room to just fall down forward in front of him, and he can just turn through. So this wasn't the greatest strike in the world, but again, this strike here really is irrelevant when we're trying to work on the swing. But just look how much better his hands and arms are allowed to fall freely down. That shaft is split in the forearm here. Great position. Last parallel is pointing straight down his target line, and he can just rotate through. Now there was an issue with strike here for Tom, and you can see because he's focusing so hard on rotating through, he's not actually getting his weight transferred to his left side. But that's another thought for another lesson. So massive improvements from the backswing. And take him onto the backswing here. Completely different position, completely different setup, and just watch here how the shaft kicks out and in front of him, very steep there. And now look at the one on the left, all from changing the position at the back of his backswing. Wow, completely different, tons of room, and he can just turn on and through. Whereas this one, he's just in a whole world of trouble on the right. Paths exiting miles left, and he was presenting quite frequently the hosel of the club, creating that shank. Great improvements, Tom. Again, hope you enjoyed this video. Guys, let me know what you think of these swing changes. Quite impressed with this one in particular. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and follow me on all my other social media platforms.